Hey, what's up? How are you guys? Good, good. Well, I'm Kate Kilter, and I am extremely humbled for this opportunity to come up here and share a story that's so near and dear in my testimony and such a big role in my walk with God. I just said roll and walk in the same sentence. What a time. Anyway, you're probably expecting us to tell some miraculous story about how, I fell off a cliff and Amy saved me, but that's not how it happened. Okay, so what happened was Amy had been my English teacher for about 36 weeks to be exact. And every 9 weeks, our electives change in the morning for 6th graders, and I had been in her English class, so she had already been my teacher. But then I got her for health, and so she already had a pretty good understanding of what I'm capable of doing and what I'm not capable of doing. So what happened was, for the exercise unit, we do this activity where we merge with the other health class and we all have a time and go to the gym and we observe what exercise does to your pulse and your body, and obviously I'm crippled, so we were trying to figure out a way for that to work. And like I said, she already had a pretty good idea of what I'm able to do. But then she comes up to me and she goes, "Hey Kate, we're doing this activity next week. Would it be okay if you just pick someone to copy off of and just sort of sit there and observe what exercise does to us?" And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Did a teacher just come up to me and say I could do nothing for a whole hour? That was the first Jesus miracle I saw. Hallelujah. So I was yes, free day, yes. And so I had that mindset up until we got to the gym on that day. And we got in the gym and I picked a boy to copy off of, because boys are always they exercise very well. So I was like, I need some results. So I had the boy, and he was an athlete, and I was like, this is gonna be great. So I went to the gym, and we all filed in the gym, and there were all these different stations. There was hula hoops and jump roping, and people were running laps. And there was this timer, and then every 4 minutes, I think it was, they would switch stations. And here I was in the middle of the gym looking at people that I've known since I was 5. They were running and jumping and skipping and jump roping and panting and being active. And I just remember being in the middle of the gym going, wait, this isn't only happening right now. This is gonna be the future. Because, I forgot to mention, 6th graders at the end of the year, about March actually, around this time that things are going on, announcements start being made for football and volleyball and all these meetings in fall sports. And I was sitting there and I looked at some of my best friends that I've been together with since 1st grade, and I thought, okay, they're gonna learn to drive. They're gonna go out and live their lives. And just like right now, I'll be sitting here. And this isn't only the present and the future, this is also the past. I never learned how to ride a bike. I never learned how to, do all that stuff. And I'm never gonna sit behind the wheel, which now that I think about it, it's kind of a blessing in disguise. I just sat there and I thought, and then all of a sudden I couldn't hear anything anymore. Because my head was so drowned out with these thoughts. And then the devil entered me, and he invaded my soul. And I was sitting there thinking, how does this supposed loving God that I was taught to worship and trusting leave me like this? A person who parted the waters and performed daily miracles with Jesus every day when he was on earth left a person crippled and watched her suffer in the middle of a gym, surrounded by people who were doing exactly what she wasn't. And then my thoughts escalated. I thought, I only have two options. I could live this way for the rest of my life, or I could take control and go and try to meet him. So I just felt extremely vulnerable.
And so at this point, I want to interject and tell you as an educator, first of all, this wasn't supposed to be emotional, Mr. Plesky, wherever you're at. Worry about it. Make me tear up. I do that even. The lesson she mentioned earlier was probably one of the worst days of my teaching career, because I felt like that was so awful of a plan for me to just say, hey, you want to look off somebody else's sheet to get your numbers and your data. So as a teacher, that was probably the most vulnerable day for me too. I felt like a failure to her. And so that was my lowest point in education, and I think one of your lowest points.
Yeah, definitely.
And so we both believe that vulnerability, God does that on purpose. We grow.
Yeah, definitely.
We just didn't know we were both feeling so vulnerable until, 2 or 3 weeks later?
Yeah.
About April?
Yeah. And not necessarily 2 or 3.
I don't remember exactly.
It happened in April. I switched to health class in March, and I'd been in it for a while. And this happened in April. And those 2 days at home alone, questioning everything, were probably 2 of the most miserable days in my entire life. I didn't know who God was. I just liked Xbox and donuts, and that's all I knew. So to be open to, hey, I'm different than everyone else. Hey, maybe the world isn't just building a tower out of building blocks and knocking it down again. It's not that simple. And I was just questioning everything. Is there a God? And if so, why is he letting me go through this? You're supposed to be loving. You're supposed to love me. Why is this happening? And why does specifically me? And then a couple nights later, I went and I told my mom. I didn't go into super depth about how I was feeling, but I said, Mom, I just felt so uncomfortable. It was the first time I really experienced it. Experienced something where I realized I was different. And she goes, well, maybe you need to go talk to somebody. And I got super defensive and I said, Mom, I don't need to talk to anybody. I don't need counseling. And I had an ego the size of an Empire State Building. it was bad. Like, 12-year-olds don't want to admit they're wrong. Like, do we have any middle school teachers in here? Like, don't you know that? And, like, 12-year-olds don't want to admit they're wrong. So, of course, I was like, okay, maybe I need to go talk to somebody. But I didn't want to tell my mom that. I didn't want to be like, okay, Mom, you're right. Because she's not. I'm right. And like, and so I went to bed that night, and I was like, you know what, you need to go talk to Mr. Garmo about this. Like, you just need to go in there and tell her how you feel. Tell her how this impacted you. But she's not gonna do anything. Because up until this point in my life, people, every time I had to talk to people about being handicapped, like, they would, in one way or another, figure out a way to dodge the question. They'd go, okay, you're so strong, like, or, okay, like, you're so beautiful, and you, like, take on the world, and I'd be like, that's not the point. Like, it's not a me issue. So I was like, she's not gonna do anything. So then I woke up the next day, and I was feeling kind of sick. Not to my stomach, but I have super bad sinus infections every time the season changes. Like, they get terrible. Anyway, that's beside the point. My mom was like, you know what, you had a rough day. Why don't you just stay home from school? And here I am like, no, I need to go to school. I must go to school. I have to go. And she was like, are you feeling okay? And like, I was like, yeah. And so here I am in the car, just like nervous as heck, talking to my mom about it. Like, I'm gonna go in and talk to Mr. Arma about this. What is she gonna say? What are we gonna do? Am I gonna have a mental breakdown and start screaming? Like, what's gonna happen? Anything could happen. And so, I get to the school, and I roll straight to Mr. Arma's room, and the bell rings. And, and I remember it so vividly. As I was rolling in, I thought, should I do this? Should I not do this? Is this the right thing to do? And then I rolled in, and she was writing her like daily lesson plans on the board, and her back was turned to the door, and I said, DeGarmo, can I talk to you for a second? And I guarantee you, my heart was beating faster than anyone in that gym on Friday. Like, it was crazy. And I said, DeGarmo, I need to talk to you. And she goes, yeah, of course, what's up? And I said, well, the thing is, I almost cried in the gym on Friday because everyone was just being so active, everyone was moving. And then the look on your face, like something inside you just broke. Like, I could tell that this experience was just as horrible for you as it was for me. And you looked at me and you said, Kate, I feel terrible. I don't know what to say. Like, I thought I did everything right. And I said, well, me too. None of us could prevent this from happening. And you said, yeah, like, I feel bad because that whole activity really doesn't apply to you. And I was like, no, it's fine. And like, I didn't know really where the conversation was going. We were talking for a while, and I looked at her and I said, Miss DeGarmo, I feel like I always have to be strong for my parents, for everyone around me. I'm just supposed to be this figurehead of inspiration that never breaks down, and I gotta be that. I gotta be strong. And she looked at me and she goes, Kate, you come off so strong. And I was like, oh God, here we go again. And like, but then she said the words that changed my life forever. she looked me straight in the eye and she said, Kate, you come off so strong, but you're allowed to have a bad day. And just like the devil had entered me on Friday, the Holy Spirit entered her room and just hovered over both of us. And and we were sitting there, and I was like, this woman just told me that I don't have to be perfect. She told me, like, she didn't directly tell me, but she told me with her body language and her spirit. She said, Kate, God still loves you. And God was right there. And I didn't hear or see anything, but I heard, Kate, God is going to love you regardless. And that is what really started our relationship.
So, that was towards the end of our 6th grade year. In 7th grade and 8th grade, I didn't have the privilege to be her teacher anymore, because I'm only a 6th grade teacher. But our story obviously didn't end that day in April.
It started, I think.
I think it started. Yeah, I grew a ton. So during 7th and 8th grade, our relationship just grew stronger every morning, probably midway through your 7th grade year, all the way through your 8th grade year. You roll in before school, and this is where I learned about High School Musical. And I have 3 sons. I've never heard the movie. I probably heard of it, but I didn't see it. And it's grown into homecoming dresses, and girls have a little bit more drama than boys, but it all started during her 7th grade year. In the 8th grade year, we had conversations almost every night before school.
Yeah.
Which led into, you want to share what happened next?
Yeah. But what led up into happening next is Amy, her door was just always open every single morning. And I felt so welcome, and I felt like I could just roll in whenever I wanted. And every single struggle I had, every pimple, I have a lot of those. Every crush, I also have a lot of those. She was always there to just listen. And even if it was a math assignment or a struggle with being handicapped, her ears and her arms were just always open. And I think that's what made a true difference in our relationship, is even if she didn't know how to help, she was ready to hold me no matter what. And in my 7th grade year, around April or so, my sister got confirmed in the Catholic faith. And she, like my Aunt Lori, was a confirmation sponsor. And I remember sitting in the pews with my parents thinking, wait, can Amy do this for me? And then I was like, no, Kate, get that thought out of your head. She's your teacher. Like, she's never going to do that. That's so weird. Like, this is supposed to be a cousin or a sister or someone else. Just get that thought out of your head right now. So I kind of left it for a while. And then freshman year rolls around, and I really start to get to know who God is. I joined Under the Cross Club. I met all these amazing juniors, 3 of which are back there. Shout out. And I met the amazing, wonderful, beautifully talented Mark Flesky. Please give me a name, class. And I really started to get to know who God was.
I am still grading your persuasive essay, so.
All right. Was that persuasive enough? I really started to get to know who God was. And I usually go to St. Vincent a lot because they're super accommodating. It's a really good church and it's close to my house. But I was like, Magdalene does confirmation classes this year. And she goes, don't you want to wait till St. Vincent? And I like after my first confirmation class, we hadn't even been introduced to each other yet. We were just registering. And I got home and I contacted Amy and I said, I'm gonna get confirmed this year. I'm ready. Would you want to stand by my side while I do that and sort of guide me in the area of religion from now on? And you said,
Absolutely. I'd be honored. Absolutely. And so that happened last January.
yeah.
She was confirmed, and I was her sponsor. I want to interject here that I'm no different than any of you. I did nothing that none of you would do. But we both truly believe God has had this planned out for a long time. And my willingness to just have an open door opened my heart to what you see now. And aren't we lucky? Aren't we lucky what we do?
Yeah.
She does not have any idea how she's touched my life. So we're just so lucky. And I did not want to do this. Not this. I want to do this. And so, is there more you want to say? Or
Well, I'm just gonna say,
I knew there'd be more she wanted.
I'm better at talking than walking. To close this up, I just wanted to say, what a touching, loving relationship I have with this woman next to me. I wouldn't change it for the world. And if I were to go back to my 12-year-old self and say, listen, you're about to meet your second mom, I would be able to go through all that suffering and all that emotional pain again, because I'm up on this stage right now and it led me here and it led us here. And you're right here next to me and I wouldn't have it any other way.
And you know, I was so sad for a split moment when I saw my third son on my sonogram. Honestly, just for a split moment. God had a plan, didn't he? Yeah. So thank you guys.
Good.
Thank you.